Hey, it's Diamond Simone, and I'd like to be your go-to support for birth, body, and beyond. Whether you're preparing for your first child or your fourth, having a doula offers compassionate, personalized care through pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. I believe that every birthing person deserves to feel seen, supported, and powerful during one of life's most transformational journeys. From birth planning and emotional prep to hands-on labor support and postpartum wellness, I got you. Visit www.diamondsimone.com to learn more or give support to someone you love, because birth is a beginning and you don't have to do it alone.
You're now tuned in to The Soulful Stir with Tash and Diamond Simone.
Welcome to another episode of The Soulful Stir. I am Diamond Simone.
And I'm Tash the Terrible. Trouble Tash. I'm here.
Trouble Tash is crazy as fuck.
Live from the terrible.
Well, what's going on?
Man. So, I don't know. I try to stay out of business that ain't my business. But everybody in a frenzy in Atlanta because they said the Hantavirus is coming. And they got them people at Emory Hospital.
Oh.
And they said it's about to get wild. It's about to get real in the field.
Who said that?
I know somebody who said they like that. I know people that work at Emory, like that are nurses there. And they, naturally when stuff like that comes, they have to make like a hospital-wide, announcement. Like they have to let the healthcare workers and everybody know, like, stay away from this area because it's highly contagious. Like they pretty much got the people quarantined there. But that's how that stuff spread. That's how everything happened with COVID. It was like a few people came back home, had COVID, and then next thing you know, it was like crack in the 80s.
Yeah.
Just everywhere.
And they said that this is something, it's so weird because it's like this been around for a minute.
I mean,
it's nothing that's
COVID was around too before
yeah.
it came to the States.
Well, that's what they said. Like they knew like what type of virus it was essentially, and this is the same thing. But it's like, why now?
Yeah. Well, you know why now. You know why? Because niggas is shifty, and they think they slick. But you penny slick and you ain't got nickel change. Or you think you nickel slick and you ain't got penny change. That's how I go. But all of this is happening because, technically, the way the rules are, and I always have to say technically because as a lawyer I have to say allegedly, but technically we know the white man changes the rules all the time, especially for his own. But the rule is if you're at war, we can't have another election. Like Donald Trump can't be voted out. Like we can't. If we're in the middle of active war and things are going on, we're in the middle of a state of emergency, all of that gets paused until it's handled. So that's why he's willy-nilly doing all this stuff with the war. I think that's why the virus is just, coincidentally it's over here because think about it. That's how he pulled the wool over niggas' eyes the first time during COVID was that he started sending out them checks. He had niggas sitting at home, he was sending out checks and niggas was like, oh, if he gonna give us some money, we gonna vote for him again. And so I think we're back in 2020 all over again, or getting ready to be, because now this is literally the same political climate that we were in when all of that was happening. And now he's trying to weaponize it for his own good. Because, essentially with him staying in office, not only does he get to control everything else, but he has a better chance at controlling his own purse strings as far as with stocks and different industries and all of that stuff. At the end of the day, he might be a politician now, but he's a businessman. You know what I'm saying? And he's a foul ass nigga in my opinion. And so he's gonna do foul nigga shit. And he's going to do what he can to secure his money.
This episode of The Soulful Stir has been brought to you by Ladybug Organics. Ladybug Organics is a 100% Black woman-owned apothecary. Ladybug Organics offers a host of 100% vegan and organic condition and body oils. Ladybug Organics is known for their Tash Tonic Stimulating Hair Growth Oil. It is a 100% organic scalp oil that stimulates hair growth follicles as well as soothes the scalp. They also are known for their Mr. Beard Stuff, which is a highly sought after beard oil for the fellas, as well as their Body Slick body oils that comes in 4 different fragrances. Shop with Ladybug Organics and check them out online at www.ladybug with 2 G's, so that is LADYBUGG organics.com. Also, all of their socials are Ladybug Organics as well. They have a platform on Instagram as well as Facebook and would love for you to follow as well as shop.
But yeah, he's like just trying to control industries and make things work in his financial favor. I don't think he ever had a real care for, the American people or American politics. It was all about being in control so he could grasp financial control. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so that's why I think all of this stuff is happening. So, I mean, I hate that long drawn out political answer, but that's essentially why, in my opinion, like that's why now, why now the virus, why all of this stuff is happening. Because he's trying to control. And I think they're trying to at some point shift into monopolies. You know what I'm saying? He has some of these big companies in his pocket, because not only did we just see the decline of Spirit Airlines, JetBlue is now, like we talked about last episode, it's facing bankruptcy as well. So, I think that this is a start. We got to really start watching, using our business sense and our financial sense to watch how these decisions are being made, because that's essentially what's getting ready to happen. Yeah. So I think that's why it's here now. Like, that's why now it's summertime. Like, it's easier for, viruses to spread, in warmer climates. It's a lot, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of moving parts to it. I think that we always tend to forget when we talk about this stuff. But yeah.
I was just thinking, like, for something that has been around and been in proximity of people, for years and years at this point. Yeah. That's what had me like, what? Like, I've been thinking about places like New York, like, because apparently this is something that is bred from rodents, from mice. And so, I don't know. It's just fucking, shit is getting fucking weird. It's getting more weird, honestly. And I never really sat down to formulate a true opinion about shit that's going on. But I do, like, it do be weird. And then some people said that they felt like it was a distraction because I was like, I always fall down a rabbit hole looking at some of the, depending on what it is, looking at the comments and looking at the comment section, and someone had made a comment that the people failed to realize what was going on with the Disney shit. Yeah. And I'm like, what? So that's a whole other thing that's like,
well, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I think this is a safe space, and I don't think y'all ever gonna hear me say this again, and I'm actually embarrassed to say this out loud, but I'm not, I think y'all will want to hear this. I'm actually excited about the Hantavirus coming to America, because if they put us in a pandemic, you know what I'm saying? Caresha just dropped, baby. I'm not missing the boat this time, okay? Because Caresha said, where are my scamming ass niggas at?
Oh, my God.
Spending that money fast, 20s, 50s, 100s cash. Boy, going that go, y'all back. That's about to be my summer anthem. Spin that shit. Spin that shit. Spin that shit. Spin that. Ooh, but listen, y'all know I don't like Caresha at all. Or the City Girls, but baby, she got a hit with that one. I can't stop singing it. I be in the car, okay? I need a tambourine. I sing it like I'm in the choir, okay? Because it is an anthem. Listen, she said boosting bitches, where y'all at? Stuffing that shit in y'all bags. Yes, listen, because bring back the old school boosters. We are in a horrible time in this economy, okay? Donald Trump, let these niggas scam the American government again. Please, let us get some unemployment. I'm running up a PPP loan. Please, people start stealing boosters. Call me. If y'all got summer fits, I'm trying to buy them, okay? This is the summer of the come up. If we really get put in another quarantine pandemic, oh baby, it's going down, okay? I'm not afraid to go to jail this time. Last time I was scared to go to jail. This time, I don't give a damn, all right? Listen, I'll go for a few months, for a few $100,000. Okay? Because I'm going to be spending that shit. I said, Caresha, all that other trash you've been putting out. You've been putting out trash after trash after trash track. Then all of a sudden, you just want to drop this one on us after we already done wrote you off? Like, she is a warlock. Because what is going on? She is a witch.
You think so?
Because how did you just get us back? How did you just draw us back in that quick? 2 months ago, we just told you it wasn't tea when we saw the two fingers touching. We hated it. Like, as a black community, we collectively hated that song. And then all of a sudden, now as a black community, everybody's spinning that shit. This is a trick of the devil, okay? She is a witch. Because ain't no way. Because who came up with that? Like, that song, like, I feel like Trina wrote that for her. Like, Katrina Laverne Taylor, please come to the front of the class and tell us if you ghost wrote that song for Caresha. Because that's what it sounds like. This definitely sounds like some 1998, 1999 Trina slip and slide. Only thing it's missing is a Trick Daddy feature.
Yeah, I have no thoughts either way about none of it. I'm just kind of existing and keeping my feelings at bay of everything, because shit be a lot, bro. Like, that's all I can say. As far as Caresha, glad to see that Caresha is seemingly recovering, you know, and she's got a good song that the girls are feeling.
It ain't just the girls, the guys is feeling
everybody
it too.
is
like,
feeling, not just
I
the
done seen
girls.
so many reels today,
Right.
like dudes saying like, when your girl get on the aux, you gotta act like you don't like her music, and they was singing that song. Like, I'm still not gonna bump her like I bumped Ken the Man. Ken is gonna be my girl hands down, but I can put that Caresha in rotation. Just that one track, no more, no less. Just that one. And really, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't even heard the verses of the song. I don't really be wanting to hear that part. I literally listen to the chorus and I restart the song just so I can keep singing the chorus over and over again.
Yeah, Caresha is very interesting to me, and I can't really I can't even like formulate why. It's just so many layers like as to why I think she's an interesting person. Like, she's somebody that I would want to have a real conversation with to try to understand her a little bit better. Like, I want to actually, because I feel like she's probably a cool person, you know.
I hate the way she talks, and that's probably why I wouldn't want to have a conversation with her. Like, when I hear her talk in interviews, I hate people that talk slow, and she has this way that she talks, and I can tell like this is a developed accent that she thinks is like cute, and I don't like it. Like, I don't know if it was one of those things, like, you know how Nicki Minaj used to have that thing back in the day where she did that like high pitched talking like a Barbie. Mm-hmm. That's what I feel like Caresha has done. Like, she has created some type of voice for herself, and I don't like it. Like, that's why I don't even want to listen to the verse of the song, because I hear it when she rap, but I can't really hear it on the chorus, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I don't, again, I'm just so all over the place. I did not know that she had a song that was out, and now learning the lyrics to the song, I don't really, I guess I'm not in my city girl kind of era no more, because when the city girls first dropped, I was all over they new content, new songs, new everything. Like, I really do, I ain't gonna lie, I'm one of those people, I do think that they better together.
I I didn't like them together. I'm not gonna say, well, they obviously are better together, but I didn't like them just as a group because I have a hard time. I think I mentioned it on here before that I hate a nigga like Jacquees. Like, I don't like these younger artists that keep just coming out and remaking older hits and classics and stuff and trying to pass them off as new songs, and the younger generations aren't like hip to like where it came from. So like when they came out with that whole like I'll Take Your Man, like everybody loved that, like all the young girls loved it, but it was like y'all don't even understand where it came from. Like, pay homage to Mia X before Mia X did it, pay homage to Salt and Pepper. Like, a lot of their songs are like remakes, you know what I'm saying, of other popular songs from back in the day or other people's songs, and it just, I never really liked that. Like, that's why I don't like Jacquees. It's like, can you come up with your own damn music, sir? Like, I hate that. Like, how you call yourself an artist and you ain't got nothing, no artistry.
Oh, so I didn't even, so I know that obviously we know that art is appropriated over and over again, and all that good stuff, but I was just about to say, I never noticed that they borrowed that, but actually, yes, I did. I'm lying. Speaking of appropriating artistry, you just reminded me of the time, just to share a little tidbit. I went to this seminar on Valentine's Day one year. This was well before 2020. This was probably like 2018, I want to say, with Carrie Mae Weems, who is a prolific artist and photographer. She's famous for quite a few things, but she is most notable for her work that she did on Spike Lee film. She's Gotta Have It.
Okay.
And I think she might have did other ones too, but I know She's Gotta Have It is the one where, you know, throughout the movie you have these still shots of films that's like throughout, and she did a seminar on the appropriation of art and how you literally keep seeing the same things just recycled in a different way all the time through time. And it was very well thought out and well stacked together to the point where, yeah, you could take a topic like that and say, like, I know, because we see it all the time, but the way she explained it and the examples that she gave and the different types of examples that she used to show us, like, no, it's not just with musical art, it's not just including visual art, like, it's in everything that we see. Nothing is new under the sun, truly. Yeah. I thought that was just so amazing, and I got some notes somewhere. I'm gonna find those notes from that seminar to see what did she say. I wonder how I would process it now, process some of the things that I wrote down now at this big age than I did.
I think my problem with it is I understand it repeats itself, but we grew up in an era, like, I'm very keen on like musical education, the history of artists, why this is this way, why these things are the way they are. You know what I'm saying? Like how we went down the whole rabbit hole of when I was like, oh, Michael Jackson wrote this is why it's this way. You know, like when we were growing up, when artists like Mary J. Blige and other people sampled and remade and covered other artists' work, it wasn't to make a quick buck. It was to show reverence. It was, this is who I grew up listening to, you know, and I want to honor this person by redoing this song because this is what it means to me. Nowadays, with some of the younger artists, that's not the case. They're redoing these songs and they're remaking them, and they have no knowledge of the prior artists. They have no knowledge of, you know what I'm saying, the history behind the song. They done took it and made something else with it. Like we see that a lot now with like TikTok. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where people are getting sued because they making beats and making songs and they don't have the clearance from these artists. Like they're not even knowing this is a real artist. Like they're they're using other people's music and making songs and didn't even get clearance. And the actual artist is living and breathing on the same damn platform. You know what I'm saying? Like you got artists and people that's doing stuff like that all the time. And that's where the issue comes in for me. I think the honor and the respect is lost in the covering and of the remaking of certain things now. You know, back then it was different. You know what I'm saying? Like you knew who an artist's favorite artist was growing up because they usually copied them. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of I love The Dream. A lot of The Dream's catalog has so much Prince influence in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did he ever try to take that away and say, "Oh no, I created this style"? When people talk to him about his music style in the interview, I love Prince. You know what I'm saying? This is where I got this from, and so it's a different level of honor and respect. But I think that just goes into a lot of what people say just in general about young kids in society today. Like, they just don't have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a person that argues heavily against respectability politics all the time, but I feel that there is a level of respectability politics that is needed to actually move in this world with grace and ease. And I think it's becoming a lost art, because I think our generation as millennials, we fought so hard to get away from the antiquated mindset of respectability politics that we swung the pendulum so far left that now we're raising kids, or we have kids in this generation that don't have any respect at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we went from overly respecting elders and, you know what I'm saying, for lack of a better term, kissing ass and letting elders disrespect us because they were elders. And we're trying to get away from that. And so now they don't have any respect. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's just, like you said, it's just showing itself in other forms too. Because a lot of these people, like, I've seen an interview, like, for example, a lot of people was talking about it on social media at one point where, who was it? I don't know who the young person was, but somebody had interviewed Delroy Lindo and was like, you know, how does it feel to be, you know, like bursting into the acting scene or something at 70? And people was like, people our age and older, we were highly offended. Like, it was on Twitter, we was like, y'all better put some respect on that man name. He's a fucking legend. Like, just because y'all young asses don't know him, just because he's not a Denzel Washington, Delroy Lindo is that man. You know what I'm saying? He's like a Don Cheadle. People like that, to me, that we grew up watching and saw as father figures on shows all the time. These young kids don't know nothing about them. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not on social media, or they're living, you know, they've kind of quieted down and they living in a different lifestyle. They're not on social media. They're not doing current movies and stuff. That doesn't take away their legendary status. That doesn't take away what they've given to the craft.
Right.
But these young people are doing that. Like, they're interviewing these older seasoned stars and not educating themselves on the catalogs, on the filmography, on the things that are necessary to conduct a real interview about the person.
Yeah, no, that is absolute facts. I have nothing to argue you down about with that. I've seen some of those clips where they kind of, you could tell that some of the reporters speak in a way where they are uneducated about who the people are, but because they're getting the traction that they so well deserve in this moment, of course they want to interview them, but you haven't done your due diligence of understanding the full tapestry of how this person got to this point. Yeah. And also the love that we have for these artists as well in our communities and beyond our communities too. Just, you know, as artists, as actors, as people, I think that is mad interesting. And it's so many, again, this is the thing that can be applied to so many different aspects of artistry. When we look at singers who may have started in the game as writers, and then people get hip to them and they're like, yeah, so how does it feel to be like, I'm true to this.
Really quick, that's how I feel about Tidra Moses. I've been listening to Tidra since 2000. Like, I've been listening to Tidra since 2002, I think is when Complex Simplicity came out. I've been listening to her since I was in high school, going to college. Like, I was listening to her so long ago. You could ask my friends from college. Remember people used to have Verizon ringback tones on their phone? Mm-hmm. Like, Be Your Girl was my Sunday tone. Like, during the week I had like Lil Wayne. But on Sunday, you know what I'm saying, I wanted some easy listening. And it was always Tidra Moses, Be Your Girl or something. Like, and it's funny because now she's touring with all these people. She's going on shows after K Tronada remix Be Your Girl. You know what I'm saying? And it's like people started jumping onto her, because I remember a friend of mine, when the K Tronada mix came out a few years ago, she was like, oh, you ever heard of Tidra Moses? I love that song, Tidra Moses and K Tronada. I'm like, girl, I'm Complex Simplicity, I'm Royal Patience mixtape, The Lioness. Like, her catalog, you can put on any album or EP by Tidra Moses and I can sing every track word for word.
But it's funny that nobody gave her just due. You know what I'm saying? She was just writing, but she owns all her masters. She's one of the only few writers. She got like $2 or $3 million off of one song because she writes for people. But her sister was very astute in business and entertainment business, and her sister helped her with a lot of that. She talks about it, but she writes, and she writes her own music. She had her own masters, all of this other stuff, but nobody would have known that because she's been off the radar, because she's made her money. She's been chilling. You know what I'm saying? Kaytranada remade that song, and all of a sudden it's like a resurgence, you know, of her career again. And I'm happy for her to do it, but I felt some type of way. I don't think I brought it up on, talked about going to see her when she came here with Floor Tree a few weeks ago, but people that were sitting behind me, I was so pissed because they was like, she can go off now. Like when she did Be Your Girl, people was like, she can go off the stage now. Like y'all don't even know her. So like they wasn't even taking her serious. And I was like, this girl got great music. You know what I'm saying? Like great music, but nobody knows it. They only know what they done heard on TikTok. Right. You know, what people that made Instagram reels for. So I honestly do believe social media and TikTok has changed a lot of, you know, of how people look at music and how people respect artists. Like I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and I was telling him, he's from Florida, and I was like, you know, I love Miami-based music growing up and stuff. I said, but one of the things I used to like about going on road trips, like as a kid, and going to see my cousins and stuff in other cities, was to hear their music. Because back then music was regional. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have no, you know, like your independent artists and stuff like now how we can hear them on TikTok and everybody can post about them and it's an Apple Music. Back then, if I couldn't hear your music on the radio, how did I know to go down to the Sam Goody to buy your tape? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have known that. That's so that was the joy in music back then. It was like discovering new music. But now nothing is new under the sun. So it takes away the fun of music to me now, because everything is either the songs that you think you're gonna like are either overused on social media, on reels all the time. So it takes, you know, it makes you very sensitive to the song now because you hear it every 5 minutes all day. Or, you know what I'm saying? People have just like kind of ruined it for you. Like, you know, and then like I talked about on another episode, sometimes you like the music and then you follow this artist on social media and then you see how they are as a person or what they present and you like, ugh, like I don't even, you know, like it takes away the mystery. Like, right. You know, so yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know, like definitely takes away the mystery. And speaking of all of this, I just want to add that I went to a show last night that was really nice to see. And I know that you're not a fan of this person. We talked about this already. But Bruno Mars puts on an incredible show to the point where just in the beginning of his set, I was like, this is about to be a fun show. Because the energy was there. The vocals crazy. Talent crazy from everybody that was on stage. And one of the things that I really like about Bruno Mars and his team, the people that back him, you could really, like, you could feel that energy in a way that I was just thinking, they really love this. You really love performing. You really love doing this shit. Because ain't no way that I'm about to be up there. The type of energy they was exuding and giving off from start to finish, crazy. And I like that his band dances as well. I always thought that was a nice touch. But his flow and artistry has this old kind of timeless feel.
What is funny that you say that, because when you say his band started dancing, the first thing I thought of was he presents himself like Morris Day. The time, everything that Morris Day did on stage, the time replicated.
Artistic appropriation.
Yeah.
See?
And since we talking about Prince, I mean, Morris Day was his protege.
Yeah.
People don't know that because they were, you know, in the Purple Rain, they were enemies or arch rivals. But in real life, he's Prince's protege. Like, Prince was the person who discovered Morris Day. But the time always danced. Like, and that's how he dances. Like, that's how Bruno Mars dances, like a Morris Day to me.
Yeah, no, that, so that makes sense when you're talking about it from that aspect, because you could definitely see that. But then there's also parts of the show where I felt like I see elements of like the Temptations and the OJs. He has a new song where he actually sampled the OJs. That's really cool. So you see those little elements here and there sprinkled throughout the show, but it still feels like a brand new experience when you're there. And I just thought the shit was, it was crazy. Like, it was such a great time. We had a great time from start to finish. And Leon Thomas and Anderson .Paak opened for him. And one thing about Anderson .Paak that I find so interesting, I feel like he has several different alter egos that he just plays around with, and he just be doing shit.
I actually like him a lot.
I like him too. I've always liked Anderson .Paak. He keeps it fun, but at the same time, you could tell that he's just as passionate about his artistry, and they're very much they give perfectionists to me in terms of their execution and how they approach the stage and just the attention to detail, the costume design, the lighting design. I'm a sucker for a good light show. And they were going crazy. Like, I couldn't believe it. And I'm going to go on record to say that trombone player, Bruno Mars trombone player, is fine. Yes, he is very fine. His name is Cameron Whalen, because yes, I looked him up today. I said, who is this young man? Fine. Okay, 10 out of 10. And apparently he's been with Bruno Mars since the Doo-Wops and Hooligans album. So shout out to Bruno, because we took my mom for Mother's Day because she wanted to go to the show. Not because we felt like, I mean, I like Bruno Mars, don't get me wrong, but I'm not if I go see you in concert and I pay my money and I'm pressed about a ticket, you got to be somebody that I really like enjoy, like I'm a big fan of. Now, I was a fan of his music before, but after last night, definitely like, okay, Bruno gets all the props, because I don't know a whole lot of people that's performing at that level today.
And so that's the hard part about this for me. While I do believe he's a very good performer and he probably performs very well, I don't like his music. And that's probably the issue for me, is because once again, I have to be able to, you know what I'm saying? Like, get through the music. I don't like those songs. Like, and it's maybe because, once again, they're just overplayed. Like, all them songs just be aggravating me sometimes. And so while I think the shows probably are very good and very put together, as far as like, you know, theatrics and lights and all that other good stuff, I just don't like his music. Yeah. Like,
I mean, that's
I
fair.
think it's one of those things where, you know how like when you watching like I don't want to just say specifically Tubi movies, but when you watch, you know, what it really is when you're watching certain reality shows on certain channels, when they don't have the licensing for the shows, they'll put some music over what was actually like when you see people dancing at a party, and you could just see them dancing, you be like, damn, they dancing off beat, but then you don't realize that they don't have the licensing for the actual music that's playing in that scene, so they overcut it, like they cut over it with just something else. If you watch shows on like Lifetime, like certain reality shows, you'll see it all the time. Like, it used to happen a whole lot on what show was that? Bring It, with the black girls, the dancers, the dancing dolls, and that little era.
Yeah, I know what you talk about, but I never watched it.
Yeah, they would dance, you know, at their competitions, but you know, they was dancing to current songs. But Lifetime couldn't pay for them releases, so they would just put any old kind of beat over it, and they would look really. It would look really off-putting, because it would look weird as hell. Like, these girls don't even know how to dance when technically they do. You just couldn't tell because they were playing some other kind of music. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I would love to see a Bruno Mars show, but I say that to say, like, I would want some headphones on where I can listen to a different song and not what he's singing. Because I don't want to hear that. Like, I don't want to hear that. Like, he makes what I call cruise music. Like, I think
cruise music.
I think Nelly is a rapper like that to me, that makes cruise music. Meaning, white people, when you go on cruises and stuff, they know all those songs, and those are the songs that they play in the club.
Oh yeah, like Hot in Here go crazy.
Yeah. Oh no,
not hot in here. It's actually what you call it. It's what people don't realize is ride with me. When them white people be on them cruises, if you wanna go, take a ride with me. We threw you on the floor. Oh, baby, they listen.
I forgot all about that song.
Oh, that one. They will tell you. They will tell a club to get on the Carnival cruise and go to the club and let them play that.
I'd rather not.
When I tell you, they gonna cut a rug. And I do mean cut a rug, baby. They gonna get out there in the club on a late night feeling right. Oh, they about to get out there and show their ass. Every time that Nelly come on, they're showing out, okay? And so I think his music, to me, Bruno Mars just makes that kind of music. And I just, like... He make the kind of music that white people that say, "Oh, I have a black friend." Like when they say, "Oh, I listen to R&B," Bruno Mars is what they're thinking about.
They put
I love hip hop. I love R&B, and it's Bruno Mars. You know
not
what I'm
saying
saying?
Nelly is not part of hip hop. He is.
No, he is not hip hop. He could be R&B. Bruno Mars is not no hip hop. I
said Nelly.
Oh yeah, no, Nelly for sure is hip hop. I thought you said Bruno Mars. But when you say R&B to a black person, we're not thinking Bruno Mars. You know what I'm saying? We thinking Neo. We thinking Jodeci. When I think R&B, I think Bruno is
rhythm
pop.
and blues. I guess Bruno would be rhythm and blues, but for me, it's kind of hard to place him in a category because it does. Some of his songs definitely get pop, but then you have other songs that are more rhythm and blues leaning.
Yes.
Or where you can listen to it in a different way. If you put a different instrument on it, if you listen to it live, where it truly sounds like the blues. I think he sung several of his songs from he sung a lot.
A lot of his songs that are R&B for me always are the ones that he did with Anderson .Paak when they did their little stuff.
Silk Sonic.
Yeah, they Silk Sonic stuff, but he was trying to lean into that 70s R&B feel, so he had to give it there. But yeah, I think a lot of his music is like cruise ship music. Like I think it's just that's what they play when when you at the company corporate cookout and they trying to appease the black people.
I'm not mad about it. There is there's a different kind of element he played with, more Hispanic influence on this current album, the Romantic album, and I'm not mad about it. You got your really deep love songs on there, which I know you're not too big of a fan of, but all I can say is I do think that I would recommend that people go and see Bruno Mars at least once, just to see what I'm talking about, because I swear it was a good time. Excuse me, it was a great time. And he had 5 or 6 guitarists up there. And they all had their own time to do a solo, which was cool. You got to see the true build of the instruments that were on stage. It was incredible. It was incredible. So that's that. Something else I wanted to talk about. I was talking with one of my coworkers today, and we were talking about a number of things, but one of the things that came up was relationships, and I was talking to him briefly about my most recent relationship and some of the things that just kind of didn't correlate with the season that I'm currently in, I would say. And we came to this big question mark of when do the little things turn into big things, essentially. So the example that we used is, maybe you don't like the way, or you don't like the fact that your partner forgets to change the tissue in the bathroom. And then he was like, yeah, but it starts off as that, and then it could turn into other shit.
Okay, so I heavily agree with that, but the caveat is, I think it doesn't, and I can say this because I dealt with this in my most recent relationship in the past, and it's weird because it came up a lot, but I didn't ever work through it properly until recently when I thought about it. I didn't communicate this well. So it's one thing to say oh, I don't like when you don't change the roll in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But then it's okay, well, you think it's not that small because you're thinking of that, but when you don't explain to your partner the feeling behind it, I had a situation in the past where I had to say to somebody, like, I would tell them stuff and they would forget it. And I would be like, that aggravates the hell out of me. Like, why don't you remember nothing? You know what I'm saying? They would just be like, well, I just forgot. I just don't remember. And then I would go, you know, I never ever explained why it would piss me off so bad, but it would grind my gears. But it's one of those things, it's like, when you don't remember what I told you, I feel like you weren't listening to me. And that's a big thing. Like, when people are late, I feel like you don't give a fuck about my time. And that's a big thing to me. Time is important. So I think when you don't properly communicate what the actual consequence is of them doing that, they fail to see how it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll be like, okay, I just forgot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially in my past situation, the person that I'm referring to was like, you know what I'm saying? I be smoking, I be forgetting. And I be like, yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But it's bigger than you just smoking and forgetting, because you don't just forget that I told you, you know, to turn the TV off. Like, you're forgetting that I told you that I'm going to be out of town this weekend. You're forgetting that I told you I need to ride to the airport. You're forgetting that I told you I have a medical procedure and I need you to take me to it. You're forgetting serious stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, if you love me and you care about me, you have to open your mind to consider me and remember these things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and I think that's where that comes, when the big things turn little, is when they're not actually examined, if I could say it like that.
Yeah, and that makes total sense. And that is what I was getting at. When those small issues are not further examined as to how they can lead to bigger issues, then it makes for a more complex situation. And then, in my case, it was examined several different times. So at what point do you say, you know what, you ain't hearing me, and you're really not trying to, and you don't understand or care at this point that I'm explaining to you how this can turn into a bigger issue and why this is important. And then the small issues did start to turn into bigger issues. So it's bigger issues for me, I would say. And I'll give an example of this. I'm not gonna tell y'all, because people be listening to this pod. See how I just rolled it out and took it back? I'm not gonna tell you. But let's just say there was a specific incident that happened where I repeatedly asked my ex-partner to do something. He did not do it. And I explained why not doing so could trickle over into a series of different complicated scenarios that could affect us in the long run. And he just, I don't know, it just fell on deaf ears constantly. So we talked about that. And then, like, of course, it's like, is this a red flag in the beginning? Not necessarily. But the tricky part about all of this is us being real adults and being out in the world unsupervised. So much so that we have to come up with solutions for shit. And then also, we have to be the ones to decide when enough is enough. Nobody else can really tell you. I mean, there are people who rely on family and friends to tell them, like, girl, you should have been left him, or you need to leave him now. And they never really think for themselves. There are people out here like that.
No, I have a
as for me, I'm not one of those people.
I have a niece. I'll say it that way. I have a niece that is struggling in a situation that she's in. And I always tell her, when she called me to vent, you know, I do the auntie thing and I listen. But I always tell her, I said, let me tell you something, baby. You'll know when enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody tell you that. and the reason why I say that is because it's funny that I give people that advice, because I'm a runner. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, baby. You sneeze wrong 2 times for me, and I done told you I don't like when you sneeze like that, and you sneeze like that on time 3, it's a wrap for us. All you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, y'all already see how the voicemail went, okay? I will cut you off and keep it moving. And it's funny because I was on Threads the other day and they was like, Capricorns do not give a fuck. They will silently cut you off and you would never know it because it'll never be no beef. They'll just never fucking call you again. And that's really how I be moving. And I'm quick to leave somebody. Like if it don't work, you're not gonna waste my time because my time is very valuable. You know what I'm saying? But like I was just saying, I exude that in other areas of my life. I don't like when I meet people places that they're not on time. Time is something for me that we don't get back. So I'm not gonna waste my time waiting on somebody to get their life together. But when like my nieces or even my nephews, when they come to me, because they're grown, you know, some of them are married, some of them have children, you know, some of my younger cousins, when I tell them like, you'll know when it's your time. You know what I'm saying? I always think it's my time. When I wake up, if the sun shines, I'd be like, baby, it's time for me to leave you because you don't act right. You know what I'm saying? But I don't never tell them to leave their partner. I just always tell them, you'll know.
Right.
Because only you know what you've been dealing with. 9 times out of 10, when somebody's having relationship drama, even if they call you and sit on the phone with you for 5 hours and vent, that's only probably 80% of what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? Because they've probably blocked certain things out of their mind. They're probably not trying to address certain things. They might be embarrassed by certain things that they don't want to tell you. So you never really have what we in the legal community call the totality of the circumstances. You don't have it. And so as a lawyer, that's how I give advice to people in my circle. I never tell people, you know what I'm saying? You know, we done talked about stuff all the time, and I be like, you'll know when you gotta know. Like, I don't ever be like, I think it's time for you to just leave a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I done had to leave a nigga before and spent the block like that. Maybe I did leave too soon. But then I didn't realize that, no, I didn't. I actually left on time. But I let somebody else convince me that it was too early.
Yeah, no, that's always a tricky thing. And I had this conversation amidst like other things occurring, right? I had this conversation with my therapist before my last situation ended, my last relationship ended. And I asked her, like, well, how am I supposed to know? Like, what do you feel like is an adequate time frame to give somebody to restructure and to make improvement after you've done all the things?
Yeah.
She's like, that's not for me to tell you.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of the conversations that we have, you know this situation and you know this person more than I could ever know them. And at the end of the day, it's up to you. You will decide when it's enough. Yeah. You will know when you know. The same way that you just described, you absolutely know when you know.
And I think that's with anything though. Like, you know, I tell people, don't worry about what other people know. You know when enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, I say that all the time because people always get on me. They be like, you be in the gym all the time. Why do you go to the gym so much? You be going to the gym so much. You're not even big. You don't even need to lose no weight. Y'all don't know how much I eat at home. You know what I'm saying? You don't see Big Mama up at 3:30 in the middle of the night eating 2 popsicles. Okay? You don't see me frying cheeseburgers at 7 o'clock in the morning because I don't eat breakfast food. Okay? Y'all don't know that. But I know that. And I know when enough is enough. I know when I get up, like when I hate when I tell people like I'm watching my sugar right now or I'm not trying to eat this. They be like, girl, you don't need to watch your, listen. You don't know how many iced coffees I had yesterday with 17 pumps of everything. Like, you know, girl, today is the day that I need to calm it down. Like, so when you don't know how people are truly living, like I said, people are not going to tell you the whole situation all the time because as humans, I don't think it's necessarily intentional. It's just we tend to leave out things that we feel are insignificant. You know what I'm saying? And what is insignificant to you might be significant to me. Like, you might call me and vent to me about your man, and I might be like, girl, you know what I'm saying? You don't need to leave him. You could be telling me, well, he ain't cleaned up. He ain't do this. He ain't do that. And I might say, well, you don't need to leave him. But to you, if you grew up in a situation where domestic partner violence was common and you tell me, and you forget to tell me that the nigga pushed you up against the wall, you know what I'm saying? And slammed your head into the bathroom door. But you thinking that's insignificant because you grew up seeing that. You know what I'm saying? You like, well, he didn't really put his hands on me. He ain't bruised me. He just hit me up against the wall. That's still to me, that's significant. So when you tell me that, the first thing I'm going to tell you is leave a nigga because it's a zero tolerance for putting your hands on people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that goes both ways for me. But that's why I tell people you'll know when it's time because what may be a big deal for me might not be a big deal for you.
Yeah, that's what's hard because when you have these conversations, sometimes I so badly want all the time. If you have a friend or somebody that you love and know that's confiding in you about something, you absolutely want the best for them and you want them to see the situation your way. But yes, regardless of all of the things, they're just not going to.
No.
Not all, most of the time. It takes time, and I've been in those situations where I have friends calling me, asking me for advice. My friends call me often for advice because I am their graceful friend, okay? No, but seriously, like, they call me and I'm like listening to these situations with no judgment, but also in some of those phone calls and meetups and text messages, it's just like, oh, okay, you're not ready. Like we just said, you really only gonna make a move when you know to make a move.
Yeah.
But I can't want anything more for you, or want you to. I can't want change in your life more than what you wanted for yourself. That's the most disheartening part about it. Is
Yeah.
people not seeing it your way, especially when it comes to domestic violence, and also just getting people to recognize abuse, period. Because just because it's not physical doesn't mean that you're not being abused.
Yeah.
There's different levels of abuse, and we need to talk about that more, because so many of us do not, and so many of our communities are not privy to the different layers of abuse.
Ooh, you know what? We're going to talk about that on another episode, because I think we could do a whole episode, because I was just talking to somebody the other day about the intersectionality between dominant, like how everybody is now talking about the lifestyle, like sexually, like doms versus subs. But there's a big difference in a man wanting to, or even a woman, but mainly a man trying to be a dominant for pleasure purposes versus trying to be a dominant to assert control under the guise of sexual pleasure.
Yeah, that's something that I didn't.
And that's big, because I've started to notice that, like people is, because think about it, it's so much talk when something catches on, like wildfire, I can't even get it out, wildfire nowadays on social media. Think about it. At one point in time, we weren't talking about it enough, or we weren't talking about it at all. But now every time you turn around, people are talking about praise kinks and this, and I want my man to do this and be dominant. And I think men are now seeing that and say, oh, well, women like that. And they're disguising it, like.
Yeah, but you're really controlling at the end of the day.
You just controlling. You ain't trying to control me for my pleasure, because people fail to realize, or some men fail to realize, the whole point of the dominance is supposed to be for the sexual buildup for the woman's pleasure. Women are multidimensional beings, and I was about to say characters, but beings, and it's mental with us, it's imagination, it's emotion, and that's what a lot of that dominance is supposed to bring out. It's not just for me to tell you, if you don't do this, I'm gonna do this to you. And now it's become, like, once again, a guise of, oh, this is for your pleasure, but it's really because you want to control me.
But that's what happens when you get the internet and podcasts.
Oh, yeah, for
people,
sure.
And you put it in front of people who are being newly exposed to different lifestyles, but they don't do their due diligence of research, and a lot of them don't even have the comprehension skills.
Absolutely not.
Go and research and read and comprehend exactly what it is that they are attempting to sign themselves up for, and in many cases have signed themselves up for. They don't know. They just doing it because, oh yeah, this sounds like me. This sounds relatable. I could absolutely do this. And like you said, women like this type of thing. I'm going to lean into that. Yeah, whatever. Like, it's a whole thing. But I'm trying to think. I feel like I had something else to talk about. And I don't know if I made a note of it. But it's interesting. I don't know, like, I've been doing a lot of reflection on just everything. The fact that I don't want to date right now. The fact that I'm just over it, to be honest. In terms of relationships. And I do feel like I want companionship, but I'm still trying to understand what that means to me and what that would look like, where I feel like it's equitable for both parties.
Yeah.
Because in some ways, many ways, it could not be, depending on the person and the situation and what they're looking for, etc. But I think right now, season of me.
Oh, for sure. And it's I don't even want to say that no more, because throughout my life, whenever I've said out loud, oh, it's the season of me, I ain't worried about nobody, I'm doing me.
Bam,
baby, I get ran over by a Mack truck, okay? And you already know, like, I don't want to say nothing. I just want to say that I'm living, okay? And I hope this summer,
just leave me alone.
And look, and this summer, I hope I run into some scamming ass niggas that spending that money fast, spend that shit. I'm saying all that. I ain't even gonna be in town. I ain't even gonna be nowhere long enough to meet nobody. I was at my granny house yesterday, and my cousin, one of my aunts, and somebody asked me, like, "Are you gonna be in town this weekend?" I said, "Listen, since the whole family here, this is where I'm gonna be." I was like, this weekend, we all going out as a family. When we come back, I'm going to LA. We come back, I gotta go to Atlanta. I come back, I gotta go to LA. Then I come back, I go to Tokyo. Then I come back, and I gotta go to Atlanta again. And then I was like, I don't have anything for August. And I gotta come back, and I gotta go to Atlanta. Then I gotta come back, and I gotta go to Germany. And I was like, that's all I have for right now. They was like, that's all you have. I was like, well, I mean, I do have one free month. I mean, the month of August is free. It's May. I mean, August will be here in no time, y'all. If y'all want to do something with me, y'all better fill up August, because y'all know I will wake up tomorrow and just book a flight and be like, oh, I'm out in 2 days.
Very true. That's why, like, that's part of the reason why it'd be hard for us to record, y'all, because
it's me.
Carmen Sandiego be here, there, and everywhere.
I be
Where
out.
In the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Baby, I be out. That little passport. I buy a new passport cover like every other year, because by the time you go through TSA and customs so many times, and you keep moving and the leather be tripping, I just buy a few, and I just go ahead and rotate them, because that passport, it's $100 worth every year. Okay, like every time I go somewhere, that TSA pre-check, that global entry, all that stuff pay for itself, baby. Because I use it.
Yeah,
I use it.
I mean, I'm not mad at you. Life is for living. It's for, traveling. And
I hate that you said that,
and doing all the
because I just told you last week about don't say goodnight, and you know what he says that when he says life is for the living and love.
I didn't know that he said that.
He's like, so let's live it, baby. He was like, yeah, that's and don't say goodnight, girl. And we just talked about that last week.
That's very creepy, actually.
And then, yes, because he says most people say that love is for the living, so let's live it, baby. Yeah, and that's it. So I'm sick.
That's very.
I am sick.
That was not planned or intended, because I didn't realize that's what he said in that song. I literally just said that because that's what I was thinking at the time. It just came out that way. Shout out. Well, I will go on record to say shout out to all of the kids that are going to prom. Prom season is upon us, and I am enjoying seeing the babies dressed up and clean and dapper. Mm-hmm. In their tuxes and their dresses, and just doing all the things. It makes me reflect on prom season for myself, and it was just an exciting time. So I hope that all the kids are getting there with they desire for their prom days. I hope that y'all have prom dates, young ladies, prom dates that treat you well, okay, treat you like a princess. And I hope that y'all are having a good time, and I hope y'all got solid plans, like for after prom and graduation and all of the things, even if it's to take a well anticipated and intentional sabbatical, because I wish I would have taken a sabbatical after high school.
Well, she the fun auntie, so she care about prom. I ain't that auntie. I don't give a fuck about prom. If y'all ain't graduating, if y'all ain't got the fucking caps and gowns, if y'all don't have no plans to get no jobs, go to school, JUCO, regular university, go do something, go to the military after school, y'all can save them prom send-offs.
What's JUCO?
Junior college. Like 2-year
like
university, yeah. But some people, like athletes, they have to go there if they can't get an actual
NCAA scholarship, you can go to JUCO, play ball, and then transfer to a 4-year university.
I didn't know that.
I'm the serious auntie, and I don't play that shit. So y'all can look cute all y'all want to at them prom send-offs, but it don't matter if your ass ain't graduating or if you don't have no plans for after graduation. You heard it here first. I don't care. I don't ask kids, do you got your prom dress? I ask kids, what you doing? You ready for graduation? What are you doing? What are you doing after graduation? I ask everybody, you going to college? Do you have a job? Every time I call my sister, I be like, ask my nephew every time, hey, have you figured out what you're gonna do after graduation? What are your plans? So he be like, auntie, what is? Listen,
I just always assume the best, you know? Like, yeah, of course they got cafe gown. Of course they graduated. Nope. But I know prom is just so well anticipated. The kids look forward to going and partying and dressing up and just, you know, having that time to shine and to take pictures and be with their friends and look fly and do fly shit. I just assume that they are graduated. Mm-mm. So, I mean, the reality is that some of them are not, you know, that's just the reality. And
I think as parents, we need to bring that old school mentality back. Quit spending all that money on these kids to go do that stuff when they not going. I ain't trying to be funny, but when they not gonna bring the money back,
don't
like
ruin the fun.
Because it's not fun to be taking care of no grown ass adult who don't work and just sitting at home. And these kids are entitled. Like when we were growing up, we couldn't wait to move out of our parents' house and go to college and get the hell on. We wanted our own jobs. We grew up in the era of niggas that was balling. We wanted to have our own money. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't wait to buy cars and stuff and do things for ourselves. Yeah. These kids want to graduate from high school and feel like they want to say, well, I'm still in your house. I'm still a kid. We couldn't wait to be grown. I know people that was living on their own at 16, 17 ain't moved back to their mama house yet, and we damn near 40.
You know, fun fact, I won Class Hustler for the girls.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't even have stuff like that anymore.
Kept a ram in the bush.
They probably don't even have stuff like that anymore. These kids, and then we didn't even want like, I'm not gonna say we didn't want expensive stuff. We wanted a little FUBU outfit, little Tommy Hilfiger outfit, pair of K-Swiss here, pair of K-Swiss there. These 15-year-old kids want Balenciagas. They want Louis Vuitton bags. They want 30-inch bust downs. Yeah. We didn't want that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I wanted my mama to get me a little twisties in the front, take me to the beauty supply store, get some butterfly clips.
The pressure is getting
yeah, and they not trying to contribute. At least we were trying to contribute. We wanted some little jobs to make $100 a week so we can go buy some Air Force Ones.
Yeah, there was a pride of being able
taking care of yourself,
being able to go and buy the things that you wanted with your own money, or to just save up some money. Like my first car that I bought that car. Excuse me, my mom put a little money with it, but the majority of that money came from money that I had saved.
Yes.
And so
we worked.
That was that was cool. And I didn't have my first job, like first real job in between like apprenticeships and, you know, doing little odds and ends things. I did not get my first job until college, till my freshman year of college. But again, where there's a will, there's a way. And you want to, I definitely agree. Like, yes, bring back instilling that part of purpose and understanding and just drive, ambition. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Bring that back into the fold. You know, I am still the fun auntie. I do want the kids to have fun. But, you know, we have fun and we got down to business too, especially in college. That's one thing I know we talked about. We had a college episode a while back, the first season, right? And if you haven't listened to that episode, please go listen to it. But one of the things I really appreciated about going to college is the friends that I met and that I made, the bonds to this day that I still have with some of my my good homegirls, and the bonds that I held on to from high school, because we had fun, but we did not play about our studies. And I feel like who you hang around during that season can make or break you real easy. And I'm just fortunate to have been around young ladies that were my age and older than me that meant business. Yeah. We went to the best of the best, the parties, the frat houses, you name it, hanging out till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
I used to be out till 4 o'clock in the morning, drinking Everclear by the handle. I would get back to my dorm room, type a paper, and be in class at my 8 o'clock. I used to have an 8 o'clock class because one of my majors was journalism, and I used to have a film class. Like, we used to study historic film, and I remember that was an 8 o'clock class, and
film class too.
I was never late.
I would go to a party, still smelling like Everclear and liquor spit, weed and liquor spit from the night before. Okay, I take me a little shower,
Dressed like Adam Sandler.
throw on something,
In a hoodie.
get me a little,
It's a basketball shorts.
get me a little Capri Sun out the refrigerator in my room, hop on the shuttle, and I'll be at Georgia State pronto. I never missed no class, and I was working. I was in college. I was working. I was on trips. I went to every party, but I never missed a day of work. All my friends knew I had money. We was hustling. We ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was trying to do their thing. These kids ain't like that now.
Yeah, no. You right. The kids are not like that. And a lot of times, I think a lot of them think that college is just a time to have fun. That's why when I was in a position when I worked with the youth, I made it very clear. I was honest about my college experience to them. Yes, it was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work. And it's only a lot of work if you are intentional about why you're there in the first place. Yeah. And I always told them there will be times where you want to give up. That's just being real. I had several times where I was like, what the hell am I doing here? Like, this is a lot on me. But I just kept in my mind, just finish what you started, bro. Just finish what you started. You're closer to your goal now than you were when you started. So you might as well just finish. Yeah. And that's how I approach several different things in life now, where it's like, when it comes to school, pursuing my master's degree, for example, it became a game to me. Like, I'm going to beat these professors at this game because that's really all it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to get an A. Like, I want an A. I don't play about that. Yes, I'm working. Now you in a whole nother ball game. Grad school, that's a whole nother story for another day on the pod. I'm not even about to get into that because grad school is something else. Mm-hmm. And if you are listening to this, if there's a young person listening to this right now, and you're thinking about going to college and getting your master's degree, getting your PhD, please do know that the collegiate experience in general, it's a lot. It's going to demand a lot from you in undergrad. When you get to the master's level, even more. And you're definitely going to have times where there will be tears, especially when you start to approach PhD level of why the fuck did I do this in the first place? Why am I here? Why am I here? And it's a whole nother ball game when you are 30 plus, working a full-time job, managing multiple aspects of life, and you're in a whole nother state of mind than you were when you were in your undergrad timing. It's a whole nother ball game. So I'll leave you with that tidbit, that gem. Tash, you got anything for the people?
No, man. Y'all just keep rocking with us.
Sounds like a good thing. Well, follow us on everything: YouTube, Instagram, at the Soulful Stir. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell their friends, to tell their cousins, aunties, uncles, mamas, daddies, whoever likes to listen to podcasts. And I think that's a wrap for today.